Pep Guardiola does it again. What a disgrace to football this man is. He was interviewed because he was kind of putting up the 6 titles in front of the Anfield fans. He said, oh, it was to remind the City fans we're a great club. You know what, mate? It's clearly not that. You were rattled when they were saying sacked in the morning. You were rattled. You're over here scratching yourself. You cannot handle this pressure. You cannot handle, adversity. Pep Guardiola runs from adversity. But he was putting up the 6 titles. Reporter comes out and says, similarly to a old rival of yours, Jose Mourinho, he came out and said, oh, 3 titles for me, 2 for everyone else in the Premier League at the time. And he said, respect, man, in an interview. And they said, you know what, that's similar. And he said, Pep Guardiola comes out, he says, I hope not. In my case, at the end, we may be similar, but I won 6, he's won 3. Pep Guardiola, you're a disgrace. You're a disgrace for even saying that. If you really know ball, everybody knows that Jose Mourinho, and this is as an Arsenal fan, this is as unbiased as it gets because I dislike both managers, right? Jose Mourinho is the far better manager than Pep Guardiola. If you want to see fancy, possession-based football, watch, Guardiola. He's always going to have the best possession-based players. He's always done that. But if you want to see a lad take over a random team in the world and win a title, a Champions League, or, just win when they're not supposed to, overachieve, get the best out of players you shouldn't be getting, these types of performances, you go to Jose Mourinho because he wins with what he got. He's won a Champions League with Porto. He's won a Champions League with Inter. Pep Guardiola, where he goes, his success, he has one of the greatest teams of all time with Barcelona, wins a couple UCLs with literally all-time greats in Messi, David Villa, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets midfield. These are all-time greats. Puyol, Piqué, Avidal, Dani Alves. The list goes on. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Right? A bunch of legends. But it's crazy because Mourinho's done it with teams that shouldn't even be winning Champions League. Porto, when are you gonna see Porto win a Champions League? Never in your lifetime. Inter, maybe, but come on, Inter's never been the same since Mourinho left. And if you check, Mourinho has managed around 8 years more than Pep Guardiola, and he's been outspent by Guardiola. There's no, in Mourinho's case, all his success, his treble with Inter, wins it with Porto, his success in Spain, I never heard a controversy where it's like, oh, Mourinho's team was allegedly paying off refs. Oh, the financial fair play was breached. Oh, this controversy behind success. You never hear about it. Because do you think Roma's going to have enough money to go out there and pay the refs off? No. But there we hear 115 charges, the problems with refereeing during Pep Guardiola's time, giving favoritism to Barcelona. We're hearing all, you see these games, like the Chelsea-Barca game. Clearly, that ref was on a payroll. Clear. There's the evidence is in our face. My man seeing handballs from Piqué, Didier Drogba getting destroyed by Victor Valdez and Piqué, and no calls. It was, you might as well put a Barca fan from the stands as referee. That's basically what occurred, but he was on the payroll. But you see right here, Guardiola, more trophies because he spent more and in less amount of years managing. Guardiola, look at his track record. Inherits an all-time great Barca team, right? You already had Messi, you already had Xavi, you already had Iniesta, you already had Busquets, you had everything. You made a couple signings here and there, a couple changes, but you already had everything. You check his following team. Well, Bayern Munich. Wow, you've really challenged yourself in Germany, man. It's not like they win almost every year. It's like when Bayern Munich doesn't win a league title, it's a headline. Just know that before and after Pep Guardiola. Then goes to Man City, backed by literally a country with unlimited oil money, breaches financial fair play rules. So there's no adversity, there's no challenge from Guardiola. And if you compare this is an interesting statement because this is around the time, these guys made a move to the Premier League, right? These guys are in the Premier League around the time, both. Since 2016, they've had a lot of time in England. Signings, Mourinho, 11, right? not backed at United. I think we could all admit that. Guardiola 22, clearly backed at City. He's even breached financial fair play rules. Trophies, Mourinho 3, Guardiola 3. And if this is like 2016 to 2018, right? They're both in the Prem at this point. So both when they're both at the Prem at the same time, clearly Mourinho was heavily not backed, and Guardiola was heavily backed because they're trying to do their fundamental, their little cornerstones of building the City team. And you look at Mourinho begging for signings, begging for a center back. You see Mourinho when he was coming out. There's clear like memes and stuff, and you hear that one joke when he's like with this little meme where he's in an interview, kind of saying, "Oh, investments from the past," because with those 600 million, Otamendi, Aguero, De Bruyne, because he was getting all these world class signings. While Jose Mourinho at Johnny Evans, it's simple. It's like that. It's like that. So he's had to do it with academy players. Rashford, players like that at United. Guardiola, well, he didn't really need to because he was getting all these signings. So it just shows right there when they're both in the Premier League. Mourinho was being seen as a failure to many Premier League fans at the time, many United fans even. And Guardiola was seen as the savior of City, the guy who's going to start it all. But they were tied in trophies, and there was a clear difference in, almost double, literally 4 million less of a difference from being double. It's kind of crazy. And then it just shows here the success levels, because I've seen Mourinho take on some crazy assignments. We check his track history. Porto, he starts his success, goes to Inter. These are big clubs in the respective country, but not in the world. Because obviously right now Inter is like a top 10 squad, you could say, top 5, you could even argue. But they've had their struggles. With Mourinho, they've won Champions League. I understand they made a Champions League final, but they didn't win it. Over here, he was winning trebles. Leaves Champions League, where is it? Where's Inter's Champions League? It just shows right there. How long did it take Inter to get to the Champions League final after Mourinho left? Keep that in mind. And he goes to Real Madrid, right? Gets a huge club right there. And he's playing against an all-time Barca team. And I understand, the dark arts, all that. But I respect him playing defensively and, trying to get in Barca's heads. More than Barcelona playing fancy football and having all these allegations about football corruption around that time, having, all these referees on their payroll. I respect that because you're still playing by the rules. You're just bending them and you're not really paying off the referee, because at the end of the day, the referee is striped. He's supposed to be unanimous, not the one deciding the games. And many times when Barcelona were, kind of losing the game, the referee would come in and save them, and it would be a 12v11. It would be a 12v11 many times. Seen it countless amount of times. Then from Madrid, my man leaves. And, he from there, it was just United, Roma, teams like that, Tottenham, Fernabant. Now it's like, it's a level there, a level where he could take any squad and he could have a level of success. And I will forever respect Mourinho, and Guardiola just doesn't have my respect. I'm sorry. Until I see Guardiola go to a team like Roma and have some sort of success. We're not asking him to win the treble with Roma. We're saying win a trophy with Roma. Something like that. But Guardiola, to me, look at him struggle now. He's got all these players. I understand there's injuries here and there with City, but you're on a 7-game winless streak. You can't even handle Feyenoord. You can't handle Brighton. You can't handle Tottenham, and you still have a greater squad than these teams. Guardiola, 100 million on the bench, lad. Jack Grealish, 100 million on the bench. If you can't, Brighton would kill for Guardiola and Grealish. Feyenoord would kill for Guardiola and Grealish, and you have them on the bench. That just shows the depth you have. Even with Rodri and De Bruyne injuries, all that, you still have that. Phil Foden was the poster boy of England, and he hasn't scored a goal. With Gareth Southgate, they sacked him. With you, it's like, help Guardiola, but Gareth Southgate is the problem. But Guardiola, what? He's played more matches under Guardiola. Same amount of goals under Southgate. Crazy. But nobody talks about it. But anyways, Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Leave a comment down below who you think is the better manager between Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola, and let me know why.